Hey, listen, before I ask my question, I want to thank you so much. The silent prayer, you know, I'm 50 years old. At home, we have a 16-year-old, 14-year-old, and a 10-year-old. And I got to tell you, introducing the silent prayer to my family, instead of just sitting down and saying the same old prayer over and over again before we eat our meal, to just be silent, bringing all thoughts into captivity. Brother, that has been such a huge, huge blessing in our lives. I just want to encourage anyone to try that out. It's amazing to look around after we've done our silent prayer before we eat, to see the excitement in my kids' faces. Like, oh yeah, Dad, I had a bunch today. Or the other one will be like, yeah, you know, I had a couple things that I've been thinking about. It really takes root, Jesse, and so I want to thank you so much. And ever since then, it's been absolutely amazing. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, Tony. Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. You're going to know God and his love. It's going to be amazing, man. Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby. You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border. And then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. You don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. How you doing, folks? Thank you for tuning in. About to get going here on this fine Wednesday with the network, flat earthed out, Joel'd up, King of the Cage Hake. Hey, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. Everybody rolling in from Joel's chat. If you don't know, there's a network. There's other shows. Check them out. Joel Friday TV, The Hake Report. And I'm your host, the Anchor Baby. It's a pleasure, truly an absolute pleasure to be back with you today. And I got some stuff for you. I got a show for you. And I'd love to get into it here. What's up, Kaya? Batman loves Jesus. Cameron, Steven, Falconing. How you doing, everybody? Appreciate it. What's up, rumble.com/American Anchor Baby? What's up, dlive.tv/Gorgonzola? How you doing? Yeah, I got some stuff on the mind, you know. Some old losers are rearing their heads. A little politics, a little bit of love, a little bit of war. We're going to get into it all. You can call the host. You can call the Anchor Baby, 888-775-3773. If you want to jump on the line, what do you want to talk about? Right on. Today's Wednesday, but you want to be subscribed. You want to be hitting the like button. You want to be hitting the notification bell because you don't want to miss the Friday flight. And it's going to be a fun one this Friday. I've already shown you some previews. I got another preview coming up of what we might get into this Friday, Fun Friday. Anybody ever heard of the black wife effect? There are white men who are benefiting, they say, from this effect. The black wife effect. It's incredible stuff. The forces of nature in the world. Nit is the last surviving soldier for Ukraine. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That means there's not a lot of time left for me. Right on. I see. You must be commenting on the Zelensky. You must be commenting on the brand new Zelensky I'm wearing today. Yes, this is a fine Zelensky. you're feeling all jagged up in the mind. You suddenly have your wallets in your hands and you don't know why you're giving out all this money. But you know it's for a good cause. Right on, folks. So, 2024, heating up, as they say. And there's some names coming back. I thought they were gone. Ron DeSantis is rearing his head. What? And I'm getting this from CNN. Because there's a presidential race. If you don't remember, there was some debates and all that. And there was some attention and all that, but fizzled out real quick once everybody saw that it's Trump. You know, he won enough delegates to become the presumptive nominee. Way back in March, was it? It was supposed to be a long kind of, campaign and route through the country, but when it was Trump, the dominoes fell, Nikki Haley, all the challengers to this primary nomination, to get this primary nomination to be the runner for president for the Republicans. Florida Republican Governor Ron DeSantis is expected to enter the 2024 presidential race this week, sources tell CNN. CNN writes this little blurb, like as if we don't remember this name. He's expected to enter the 2024 primary race. While polls show former President Donald Trump remains the clear primary frontrunner, quiet efforts are underway by the Biden campaign to prepare for DeSantis. Are we doing this again? We already did this. The campaign has already started putting cash and efforts into Florida, Biden's campaign, to counter Ron DeSantis, and will decide in the coming months whether to put more. We already went through this. We already did this episode. You remember, folks? If you don't, basically, the primaries for the 2024 election already took place. Donald Trump emerged as the frontrunner, like I said, way early in the process, securing victories and delegates, okay? And as a result, Vivek Ramaswamy, Ron DeSantis, they dropped out and endorsed Trump, if you remember. Trump continued to dominate the primaries, winning a substantial majority of the delegate votes, including on Super Tuesday. Remember Super Tuesday? Nikki Haley, who remained in the race longer than other challengers, eventually suspended her campaign in early March. Remember? She was the holdout. Maybe in this state they'll love me. By mid-March, Trump had secured enough delegates to become the presumptive Republican nominee. So Ron DeSantis is back. And he initially announced his candidacy back in January 2024, if you remember. And he exited early, endorsed Trump, etc. Some are wondering, at least people over at WUSF.org, are wondering, hey, this may be a political move to keep his name relevant for 2028 presidential run. Speculation and all that. One thing we did see, in my opinion, on display during these primaries and this people coming out of the woodwork to go against Trump in his second run. Remember, he's going for his second term. We all loved him the first one, 2020. Moment of silence. And in my opinion, we saw quite clearly these, what I call them like upstarts, political moves, just to, basically these people these names who had a support, but their support was characterized specifically by their Trump, that they were Trump, but not Trump. We're everything Trump, but we're not that guy. We don't like that guy. And that's their whole campaign. That's really the whole thing here. You understand? So that's where I get that conclusion from, that these challengers are for, what's the word? Ego reasons. I'm trying to say something else here. Publicity. That's the word. Publicity. So, anyway, so they're at it. They're going at it. Meanwhile, GOP Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina has filed to run for president in 2024. We got another one. Scott is back. He, too, did a DeSantis. He ran for president game, and now he's saying he's doing it again. They're at least according to CNN rumors and all that. With DeSantis, with Tim Scott, he has filed to run for president in 2024, according to the Federal Election Commission's website, will formally enter the primary race today. Scott, the only black Republican in the Senate, is also poised to receive an endorsement from the number 2 Senate Republican, Senator John Thune. Who cares? The number 2 Senate Republican. Like, that matters. The number 2 worst, so the worst guy. So he's like the second worst guy. He's our second biggest enemy in the Republicans. The number 2 guy. Who's the number 1 guy? I obviously don't get politics or something, because maybe that's totally clear to some how someone could be the number 2 Republican senator. But you're informed. That's why you watch this show. Don't ignore all that. He joins a growing GOP field looking to challenge President Joe Biden as he seeks a second term. But not that, just that. They are the response to Trump. They are the Republican response to Trump. So the Democrats have a response. The Republicans have a response. It's like everybody's got a big old... They're scared. I smell fear. I smell fear. So can we assume that Tim Scott will not be a vice president pick for Trump? We'll leave that up in the air. It's still possible. Look what happened with Kamala Harris. Wasn't she totally unliked? But she still became VP. Politicking. Whatever. Tim Scott, they say, I heard an interesting take that he would be a good VP because he would be useless. And he's not bringing all this baggage of entrenched. I mean, he's mainstream and all that, but weird ties, like he'll most likely just be a kind of a nothing guy. And that might not be a bad thing. Anyways, there are local primaries going on as well. Local state primaries. These are elections held by parties in each state so they can select their nominees for different offices, presidential candidates sometimes, congressional seats, important things, right? And they're having them in a number of places, Georgia, California. One in particular is interesting is Fani Willis, okay? Fani. I'm thinking of that black preacher who's like, get him, Fanny. She's this district attorney for Fulton County, Georgia, known for her historic role as the first woman to hold this position and leading high-profile prosecutions, including the investigation into former President Donald Trump's effort to overturn the 2020 election results in Georgia. So that's that case. She's involved there. But not just that, she's the DA of Fulton County. The same DA who's reforming crime and reforming the justice system. You know what that means, right? Reforming meaning like turn the pyramid upside down. Make the hierarchy upside down. Criminals on top. Criminals, bums, upside down hierarchy. And she, as you know, is involved with this election interference case, okay? She won her Democratic primary. And the judge in this case also won his election. And you got to understand something here. Fani Willis was voted. You understand? Fani Willis was elected by the public. She first won election as the district attorney for Fulton County in 2020, and she won her re-election 2024. So can we really say much about her? What's wrong with the people, right? What's wrong with the people that they keep making the same mistake? They keep voting in the same people. What's wrong with the people? What's wrong with the adult blacks in Georgia? What's wrong with the adult blacks in Georgia? Fani Willis, her district, if you wanted to know, where did I put that? Where's my information? Bada bing. Fani Willis. I'm looking for some information I had about demographics there, right? And she has a significant backing in Fulton County, which includes a substantial African-American population, according to Fulton County government, etc. And, you know, Fulton County, and this is from Ballotpedia and Fulton County government website, they, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, that's how it breaks down. Blacks make up 44%. They are the majority in Fulton County. Now, this is I'm just trying to show you how shallow and immoral people are, right? And in this case, black people, right? So we can stop pretending with this crap about poor blacks, poor anyone. Oh, it's racism, blah, blah, blah. Because all I hear is hatred. All I hear is hatred towards blacks coming from everyone. Okay? Nobody loves the blacks. No one's showing them love. Now it's free. Now that it's free reign on the internet, it seems. That's getting worse a little bit. Anyways, shallow, immoral people, they keep voting in the same, you know, this is the same woman who was in front of a church after some strange going-ons with her, the way she handles certain things. There's something with, she has a romantic relationship with, she's accused of a romantic relationship concerning conflicts of interest with this special prosecutor, okay? Nathan Wade, a special prosecutor she hired. Opponents claim that she benefited financially from this relationship. But, you know, it's not even about that. Just look at Fulton County and what she does, who she lets out, what she's into. The reforms she's trying to enact, they're happening. They've been happening before her, and yet people will still vote. You understand what I'm saying here? Shallow, immoral people. What's wrong with the adult people? I think one thing that's wrong here, I'll tell you this. I think one thing that's going on is meerkat syndrome. How do I put this? Something I was just thinking about. Everyone acts like meerkats. Let me show you something. Biden says Trump is using Hitler's language with Reich posts. Reich. The Reich. You know, that's a German word for empire. Okay? Basically. It's basically empire. Okay? Realm, empire, analogous to nation, should you will. Biden says Trump is using Hitler's language. Uh-oh. You know, that's a big no-no. That sets off everyone's signals, and they know what to think and believe. Wait, Hitler? Bad. And what are they talking about? There's a video that was reposted by Donald Trump on his Truth Social. It wasn't his or his campaign. They reposted a video, and in this video, it's one part of the video shows like a newspaper clipping, and it's kind of trying to show a world where Trump wins, a future a possible reality where Trump wins. And on the newspaper, it showed Trump wins, and somewhere like in small writing to the side says a unified Reich. So Donald Trump is reposting content, and in the content, it uses the word Reich, alluding to Nazi stuff. Biden had to clear that up right away.
What's next for America?
Is this on his official account? Wow. A unified Reich? That's Hitler's language. That's not America's. He cares about holding on to power. I care about you.
Nice.
President Biden hammering former President Trump for amplifying language evoking Adolf Hitler's rule in a since-deleted video that he shared referencing the creation of a unified Reich.
Scary stuff. Scary stuff. They say the Trump or whatever already took it down. That he took it down, you know, we don't want to be involved. They're saying it's Reich, unified Reich. They're calling it a unified Reich. I heard Reich means empire. I don't know. So let me get to what I'm saying here. I'm just showing you, how shallow the media is. Shallow stuff here. Just this. Let's just draw a line between Reich and Nazi and Trump. So you get it, real shallow. But meerkats, that's how people are. I'm trying to show you how people are. Meerkats, they stand up straight and they look around. They look around like this, and they look around to see what they're supposed to believe. What's okay to say? You understand? What's okay to say? Because let's translate Reich, right? Unified Reich? That's unified America, is that what you're saying? Now, what's so bad about that? A unified empire. If we're just taking words. If we're just one-to-one translating words. Okay. Shallow people, meerkats. That's how people are. They look around like, what am I supposed to... is this okay? Is this okay to believe? Is this okay to say? Is this okay to say and believe? You became a meerkat right there. That was wild. Just like that. And look, here's what I mean. Here's what I mean. I'm going to play a video for you here. Okay? Let me play a video for you. Which will make a point and kind of segue into something else here. 888-775-3773 if you want to call in. Here's a woman with a little TikTok, and she's describing she's on a vacation with some girls. She's on vacay with the ladies. She's married. She has a husband. And there's something her husband's doing that she doesn't like.
I'm on a girls trip and my husband calls me every hour. Yeah, I let the dogs out. That's good, baby. Yeah, Hadley peed and pooped. Oh, that's good, baby. I'll talk to you in a little bit. Okay, love you. Okay, bye, baby. FaceTimes again. Hey, I'm ordering dinner. That's good, baby. Every time. Just keep amping him. That's good, baby. Leave me alone, baby.
What do y'all think? Just ripping on him. What do y'all think? Oh, she cheating on him tonight. Wow. People are not happy. She talking to a dog? I get your responses. Maybe this says something about her. I get it. I think it probably says a lot about her. I'm just looking at the chat right now if you're listening. Bro, why are you playing this, though? Annoying AF. Funny stuff. Look, I get your reactions a little bit. Maybe this says something about her, right? Maybe this says something about her, but let's flip this on its head a little bit. Because it's funny to see the meerkats. I'm looking at the comments of this video, and the women too. This is what I mean. In the comments, they're like, nasty female, da-da-da. This is, I think it was posted too by like a pro-men kind of account or something like that. And so even the ladies in the chat are like, oh, bad, this is bad, woman, stupid. Look at her, she's talking bad about the man. I don't like it. Right? That's the right opinion, right? Right? Meerkats. And I get it, like this maybe says something about her, but hold on, how do we even know it's real? Because I know something about content right now in social media. And there's a genre. There's a genre of content where it's basically you just do skits, but you're trying to talk about something. You're trying to start a conversation. It could very well be that this never happened to this woman, and it happened to her friend, and she's like, that would be a good TikTok, and get a conversation going because it's an interesting thing here. Why the heck is he calling so much? But yeah, I get it. This might say something about her. And actually, right before starting this show, I did check out her TikTok because I was wondering, wait, let me see if I was right about that. And she is married. I don't really care about that. She's married to a black guy. And I don't really care about that either. I'm just saying that this might be real, is what I'm saying, to make that point. But do you understand the meerkat thing? There's something to say about here. There's something to say about relationships, dating, men, women. And if you're just going to get all butthurt about it, you're not going to be able to learn. Because we already know that women don't love you. Even if they say that. We already know that. So This is part of what I was saying yesterday about when you're going to get into marriage and all that, you should kind of know what to expect. And what I notice that everyone expects, because this is how it was for me growing up, everyone expects the love, the respect. She would never say something like that about me. And then you get offended because you didn't know what you were getting into. Yeah, people don't really love each other the way they say. That's not love. Anyways, I don't know why she's posting on social media. I really want to move on from this. Because I want to talk about how no one knows that emotions are evil. No one knows that. Christians, men, red pill, date guys, red pillars who know female nature. They have no clue that emotions are evil. They really have no clue. Married with social medias. Yeah, I get it. I'm with you guys, man. Like with this social media crap, and women trashing their husbands online. Yeah. Hey, I'm with you on that. Trashing their husbands online. But don't let him get away with it. He's calling her every hour. What's going on here? He must not know a couple of basic things that most men don't know, and they're going into these marriages and relationships completely blind. He must not know that that's not love. He must not know that that is showing a weakness. And this weakness, not only do women hate it, they may judge it and they're wrong for that, but their reaction is understandable. Maybe you'll understand me here in a moment, but first let me show you something exciting to wake you up. You maybe fell asleep. What's going on here? Are this emotions out of control? Oh my gosh.
Okay, we're stopping.
That happened so fast. You might need to see it again. Motorcycle comes up to the car. Something happened before then. I don't know what happened. He kicks the car. They're on what? This looks like their road rage incident in Santa Clarita. This may be a little old, but it's making the rounds on Twitter. They're in the what do they call it? HOV lane, or do they not call that in America? Carpool lane. The carpool lane. Whatever. Look, the motorcycle guy goes up to the car, kicks it, and then the car goes onto a psychopathic murderous rage and tries to turn his car into the motorcycle. That goes wrong. Boom. Destruction, chaos.
Okay, we're stopping.
Clip's an oldie but a goodie.
Okay, stop.
Oh yeah, we stopping there. What a mess. That's your Monday morning. Just got way worse. Everybody loves Mondays. Holy, who knows if that was on a Monday, but definition of stupid: knowing the truth, seeing evidence of the truth, but still believing the lie. Thank you, court. Look, in a moment of anger, this person probably just turned the wheel quickly. In a split second of anger. Heard the knock on the car. Don't know what happened before. Boom, this motorcycle just hit me. Boom. One little turn of the wheel. Chaos. Could have been dead people. Anger, emotions. Matt Walsh is embroiled in a little bit of a Twitter controversy surrounding emotions. Matt Walsh, you know him. Daily Wire host, Catholic, I believe. Matt Walsh married. And he's, like I said, embroiled in a Twitter controversy we're going to get into here. He shares his thoughts on a post on Twitter. Let me duplicate it here so I can show the people what I'm looking at. Matt Walsh is commenting on this tweet by Shay, I believe. Shay, I believe is her name. Shay says, Shay is responding to this other tweet here, and the tweet reads, "What gives you the ick in the opposite gender?" If you don't know what that is, ladies in the chat, tell the men what that is. The ick, the unexplainable I don't know. I see him totally different. I'm not attracted anymore all of a sudden. There's something I don't like about him. When I watch him, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. He doesn't look cool. It doesn't feel right. He doesn't look cool. He doesn't look manly. So that's the ick. Shay says, I had a crush on this guy for a while. He got robbed at gunpoint. Saw him that same day, and he was narrating it, started crying with his mouth wide open. I never gotten the ick so fast. That's her man. She had a crush on this guy. He got robbed at gunpoint, and she has no empathy. See, this is how evil women are. Look at how evil women are. This is a little bit of that meerkat stuff. If that's your reaction, there's a little bit of that meerkat stuff. Because this costs, it's a little tough for women sometimes to say this. I'm not saying it was tough for Shay specifically, but when a woman says something like this to you to your face, it's tough for them. And here's what I mean. I'm not saying it's tough because they're saints, because they're speaking honestly, and that's tough. Even if they're speaking honestly out of anger, and where otherwise they maybe usually wouldn't have, it's still something you shouldn't just look. Do you get it? Like that woman before, putting her husband on blast on social media. Yeah, evil. What the heck? But imagine not learning from that situation. She says, I had a crush on this guy. And she's being honest about that. She never got the ick so fast. If the guys are just gonna get mad at this, then you're not gonna learn anything. So Matt Walsh is responding to this. And he says, pretty sure this is just a troll, but she isn't wrong. A man should basically never cry in front of a woman because he's scared, nervous, frustrated, or overwhelmed. It's one thing to shed a tear of joy over the birth of a child, or a tear of mourning over the loss of a loved one, or something along those lines, but crying in a way that demonstrates weakness and helplessness, where the woman is now put in the masculine position of being the strong and stable one, is always a bad idea and will cause her to lose respect for you, whether she admits it or not. Same goes for crying in front of your children. Makes them feel unsafe and insecure. Don't do it. Ick. Someone wondering what that is? No crying. Seesaw with the hundreds in the chat. So you following so far, fellas? You still with us? Should we slow down? Some are having a problem with this. In fact, here are some of the comments. Jesus wept though. But Jesus wept though, bro. Like Jesus wept though, bro. Hiding, while this may be true, says Android Andy, while this may be true in some scenarios, having human emotions is perfectly acceptable, and hiding them just creates other problems. I'm sure you've heard a lot of these. I'm sure you're not unfamiliar with some of these ideas. I bet you cry in front of Ben Shapiro. Oh, that's totally unrelated. That might not be an idea you're familiar with. Whatever. Stephen Longoria, have a little fun jab at Matt Walsh. But okay, look. Where's he wrong? Where is he wrong? There's people disagreeing. Here's a guy disagreeing. Nick Rudy, the other Nick. The fact so many men agree is concerning, says Nick. This is dangerous. This is a dangerous anti-male position. Shoving down your emotions is extremely unhealthy and kills you early. If you cannot be vulnerable with your wife, what is your relationship worth? Have PTSD? Don't cry or your wife leaves you. Okay, says Nick with his response here. Tough guys. Okay. I got to point this out. Appreciate the conversation here with Matt Walsh. Interesting to see all the men in the responses. They're really not happy with him. And I got to point this out. This is such a perfect example of how people really don't know what's possible. They don't know what's even possible. Christians, men, they don't even know what's inside of them, what they're able to overcome, what power is. Do you understand? They think they hear all these men telling them that power is making the woman, I don't know, like into you, be attracted to you sexually and to never leave you. And they don't know that's like the easiest thing. I know that's a big talk. That's big talk what I just said, but I got proof for you. We'll get into it here. Don't let me forget. Wait, here's one way to remind me. Joel said the woman chases the man. And some people were incredulous. True power. They think it's game. Oh, game. I can game women. They don't realize that the game that red pill guys are saying, it's a numbers game. It's statistics, numbers. That's easy. Anybody can do that. Anyways, look. Big talk. We'll get to that. I'm telling you something here about what people don't know is even possible. You ever hear the story of the elephant growing up chained to the post? When the elephant's small and weak, they can't pull away from the chain, but eventually it gets so big, it can destroy that chain, no problem. But because in their mind, it's an elephant, they were trained that way. They don't know that they could just break free from the chain. Like, think about it. How can men conclude anything else but what this guy's concluding about how shoving down your emotions is extremely unhealthy and kills you early? How can they conclude anything else? Because their whole reality has been this. They feel the crazy emotions, just like everybody else and the women. They think the crazy thoughts, and now you want me to shove them inside? Well, that's insane. Shove them inside where no one can help me, where I have to feel this by myself? They feel all those things, and then the fear comes about when you tell them that they have to now hide it. But that's already what I've been doing. That's already my daily life, hiding my emotions and hiding how all the craziness inside and how I don't understand it. You realize, how can men conclude anything else? They don't even know what's possible. They have no idea. They don't know that you can shove that inside and that you don't have to figure anything out. No one's saying that you don't actually have to figure anything out about those emotions and thoughts. There's nothing you have to do. So when you retreat inside and you're left alone feeling all those things and the stress, how can anyone conclude anything else? Well, yeah, stress kills you early. PTSD? So my wife is going to leave me if I cry? How can they conclude anything else? There's no love for men. No one loves men. They're telling them, look at how the men are talking. Repeating all the things the women told them and the world told them. They don't know that that's not normal and they can actually work on themselves to be that man. Some don't even know that. But look, I'm talking about at least even just knowing it, okay? Because you ask, you realize how most men think. That you're telling me these things, these crazy things I'm feeling and thinking, I now have to retreat inside? How can this be my life? That can't be my life. So they think, and so they turn around and think that spewing it all out is healing. Because they have no clue that those emotions aren't real. Those aren't real. PTSD, how can that even be? Imagine, I think a lot about soldiers having PTSD. Like, imagine being traumatized by seeing guts and arms blown up and stuff. Yeah, I'm not saying it's not shocking and all that. I'm not saying go out and look at it and all that. But just think about that, like, maybe people don't get what I'm saying here, but guts as guts. It's just guts. Don't overreact. Don't let that enter you. You're a soldier. Imagine saying you have PTSD over that. And then crying for the baby. Like, even that, in a sense. I'm not saying, in a sense, with Matt Walsh saying, if I may nitpick a little bit here, Matt Walsh, even then, this whole weeping over your children and all that, I'm not judging the men that have done that or do that. But can I say this real quick? Something I know is that emotions come over you. You don't control them. They come over you. And so I don't go around feeling, because I do. I feel happiness too. Maybe I'll even weep for my child. But here's one thing I won't do. I won't just assume that that's me. I watch that the very same way I watch the negative thoughts, the negative feelings. When I'm feeling excited, I'm like, man, I'm having fun. This is exciting. Some part of me is like, that's interesting. I don't even say anything beyond that. I don't even say that's evil. I don't say anything. Some part of me is just like, just notices, I'm excited. And then I realize other things, in my excitement, I'm speaking in a way wouldn't normally. I'm doing things that I wouldn't normally. So that's one thing I know. Emotions come over you. You understand that? 888-775-3773. I appreciate the people holding. I will get to you here in a moment. Watch that like watching anything else. Okay, you followed me so far? What else do I want to say about this? Crying for the baby. Don't overreact to the guts. I mean, it's just guts. What the heck? I don't know about y'all, but my generation got traumatized on a daily basis on the internet, okay? Psh, like I'm going to let some live leak video traumatize me. So what? He got beheaded. It's a body. So look, check this out. Here's some more responses. Here's a response from Matt Walsh on this. The basic standard of manly conduct. He's responding to this Nick Rudy about how so many men agree is concerning. Matt Walsh responds, says the basic standard of manly conduct observed by all cultures across the world since the beginning of human civilization is not dangerous or anti-male. It is only in approximately the last 12 seconds that we've decided that men should be as emotional and vulnerable as women. The experiment has not resulted in happier or more well-adjusted men, nor has it created better marriages. It has had very much the opposite effect. If you don't believe the spirit and whatever I'm saying so far, can we just look at it from a point-proof standpoint? It's worse. It's worse. Now you might be one of these people who still think that the new thing that's coming is equality. But that's not what it is. Some know the truth. Some know the truth and they just believe it. It's good. I have yet to see the proof. We could talk about it. You can call me 888-775, but 888-775-3773. Some people know the truth that it's actually a switching. They're trying to switch the whole thing and put the women on top. Hey, interesting experiment. Don't know if it's working out. And can I just add to Matt Walsh here? The reason it's been like this, Matt, is not by accident. Okay, it's because men are to lead. There has to be a leader. There is an order. So can we normalize, please? Can we normalize shoving things, shoving emotions, shoving pain, shoving all that deep inside? Deep inside. Sweep it under the carpet and never speak about it. Can we please normalize that? And never showing it to anyone? Never, not even on your face? Because it's your only chance to really deal with stuff. It's your only chance to be refined into an unstoppable force where thoughts and emotions won't stop you. It's your only chance. Everything else is a cope. Everything else. So shove it down, shove it deep down. And here's what that means, by the way. That does not mean, because the world thinks that when you shove it down, it means you still have to deal with it. You have to feel it too. No, you don't have to do that. You just watch. Watch the urge to want to do something about the pain and the thoughts, to think you have to figure it out. Even the people who are watching their thoughts, right? Because they heard the Bond Network talk about watching your thoughts. You hear me say, oh, if you feel pain, don't try to figure it out. And so you think to yourself, Nick's right. I feel pain. Now let me figure out what the thought was so that I can, no. Just stop. Calm down. Just calm down. This moment right now is brand new. There is no such thing as starting again. There's no starting from the beginning. Okay. Calm down. And that's all you got. All right? This is your only chance. This is your only chance, your only way out. So don't cry about it, okay? Don't cry about it. Your only chance. Nick, you're right about Matt, but not about PTSD. In what way? Scaring? Thank you for joining the chat. Appreciate that. You can call me too, 888-775-3773. Because I look at these soldier guys and they're like, oh, I got PTSD. And I'm like, how is that? I look at it first, from this first step, I look at what I've concluded, what I'm like sure about emotions. And I know that they come from these thoughts, they're not real, Like, what the heck is it even? What is PTSD? I feel this thing because why? Well, because I was remembering this thing. Stop remembering it. Like, I know I sound like maybe ignorant or showing no love here, but I'm telling you, it's coming with a little more understanding than you might think. These guys are doing a drama. It's a drama. It's a drama. Oh, it was so tough to kill someone. So look at me. I'm just so tortured. I'm just so cool for killing someone. It's just, I'm such a tortured person. It's drama. It's drama. Imagine PTSD because you killed someone. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a soldier, you kill people, you're like, oh, I feel bad for that. Okay, what else here? Amazing. 888-775-3773. I got another Twitter controversy that CANDACE Owens is embroiled in. And it has to do with men. She's calling them perverts. Where's the love, Candace? We're going to get to CANDACE Owens here in a moment, but first I got Art out of Ohio. You're on the air, sir.
Who is this?
This is Nick, the anchor baby.
And I said, who is this?
Wait, what you say? Are you asking me who is this?
I said, who is this, Nick?
This is Nick, the anchor baby. Heck yeah.
Already.
Baby.
Ready. Baby. But check this out, Nick. So did you hear about the little incident in Chicago with the migrants?
Help me. No, I don't think I have. There's all sorts of stuff happening with migrants all the time. Jeez.
Yeah, definitely in America right about now.
Yeah.
They get your peoples, Nick, man. They down here in Chicago with the knives and them.
My peoples. That's your man's, Nick. You got to figure it out. You better round up your people. They're out here committing mayhem.
Man, Nick, get your people, man. Get your mans in them. You know what I mean?
Hey, fair enough. I'll get my peoples. I'll rally them up and show them and tell them what's wrong, because I think what's wrong with them is they're believing lies and they're actually immoral, and et cetera, et cetera. I'll rally up my people if you gather yours.
Straight up. Check this out. So now I heard.
Will you gather up? Will you gather up the blacks and lead them out of their hell? If I gather up the migrants.
That ain't my job. I'll leave that to Father God. You know. But no, they was in the Chicago downtown or whatnot out there, like 12 of them out there having a sword fight, like they was back there in Jesus times or whatnot.
So I should not search migrant sword fight on Google. Maybe I'll just search migrant Chicago. Maybe I'll just search that instead. Don't search migrant sword fight on Google. Migrant Chicago. So what's happening in Chicago?
I have no idea. I guess they was out there fighting or whatnot, and people it was a show I was on last night, and they was talking about like how the news ain't talking about it, and then they got saying something like they got the volume blocked out, and somebody in the chat was saying like they probably did that, which makes sense because they gonna want to push the narrative that they black. They, when they pushing a certain narrative, they don't want to tell on themselves, so they don't want everybody to know it's migrants out there with swords running around fighting or whatnot. You don't want to get the American people all up in all worried and up in roar and stuff or whatnot. So that's what the people were saying in chat last night or whatnot, that they blocked the volume out because people will just glance at it or whatnot and just assume that they blacks. You see what I'm saying?
So you're talking about the out-of-control migrant crime in Chicago and people blaming blacks on the migrant crime in Chicago.
No. I mean, no. No, I'm saying that, the narrative or whatnot, that, you how they be trying to say that you'll hear a story and they be like, well, black guy does this and does that. Then you see a picture of him and it's a migrant.
He's looking rather Latin American.
It ain't no Negro or no American black. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that they muted the volume on the video, I guess on Twitter or whatnot. Not on Twitter, but the video was muted or whatnot. So a person that would just glance at the video would just see the video and assume that they weren't nothing but a whole bunch of American blacks fighting each other in the street or whatnot. And I'm saying, well, that's what liberals do. They don't want you to know that, because if you got volume on the video, you can clearly see and hear by how they speaking that they illegals or they migrants. You see what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying. I bet you that happens too, man. I bet you that happens because I saw some video the other day and the guy was wearing a mask. So now they all got masks. And it's like, it turned out that he was like a Latino guy or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But would you blame me, Art? Would you blame me? Let's say I'm watching this video in New York. I saw some dude and he had some mask on. And he was doing something crazy. And you know, my mind was like, hey, it looks like that's a black guy kind of. Turns out it's like a Latino guy, a migrant. Would you blame me for that? Would I be like, it's wrong to judge and assume, and we should all watch that. But in the grand scheme of things here, when we're looking at it, like, would you be surprised that people kind of make these assumptions?
Nine times out of 10.
And we're talking about Chicago here too. Go ahead.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, if you an American like me, you know what a Somalian look like. You know what a Mexican look like. You know what an Indian look like. I don't care if they slept with a white person in America or a black person in America. I got a friend right now or whatnot that got kids by a Somalian dude, and you can clearly tell that they Somalian. They don't look like they have resemblance, but they always got them little buck beady eyes.
I understand what you're saying, Mart. But like again, my question. Go ahead.
No, you should. Some people been here long enough in America. They know what migrants or non-Americans look like. That ain't no excuse. Nah, nope.
But that's no excuse for what?
No, just for you assuming that it's a black person. You can look at somebody and tell if they are an American or they are from America.
But always, let's say in my case, it was a person who was wearing a mask, and I saw brown skin. I saw hair that looked, you know, kind of curly. Turns out it was like Dominican. You know how Dominicans also have like black people hair sometimes. So would you blame me? Would you blame me for that? Because it was not obvious, and I'm pretty culturally enriched. I lived in Canada. I lived in amongst so many different people. I can tell the difference between like a Bengali and like a Eastern Indian. It's in the hands. I don't know why I could tell. I could like between a Korean and a. So I'm pretty culturally rich, I gotta say, and it was kind of unclear to me.
So you asked me, would I blame a person for getting that misconstrued?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. Because if you don't know, it ain't my fault you don't know the difference between Pennzoil oil and STP oil.
Okay, let me put it like this: why are those people reacting to the migrant videos and thinking, "Oh, it's black crime"? Where is that coming from?
I mean, I was probably expected this probably because black people are always committing crime. Or no, I take that back. A certain percentage of black people
that is fair.
Always committing crime.
That is more that is a more accurate statement. Yes, it's not all of them.
It ain't all of them. And the ones that are committing the crime, they are repeatedly committing crime.
Correct. So you agree with me that it comes from
the crime. Go ahead.
It could be it could be a wrong view of it or whatever. I don't think so. I think people are reacting to what they see. Anyways, it could be a wrong view and all that, but it's not out of nowhere, right? There's a reasoning on how people got there, even if the reasoning is false. Would you say that? Would you agree with me? That it's not just out of nowhere.
How do we get to talking about blacks? I'm talking about I don't want to talk about blacks. I want to.
You brought them up.
I don't want to talk about no blacks.
But you brought them up.
I told you huh?
You brought them up.
I was talking about the migrants.
Right, but you said that people are watching this migrant crime. Specifically, you brought it up to talk about how people are blaming blacks for what the migrants are doing.
No, I ain't say they was. You ain't getting what I'm saying. No, I'm saying they put the video out without the volume, so people would assume that they were blacks.
And they're wrong for that. You're saying.
I'm not saying they wrong. I'm just making a point, bringing up a statement, or bringing a story to you, and just showing how they try to push the narrative. And how the liberals try to be slick. it really don't have nothing to do with blacks. I mean, if you know what a Negro black look like and what Negro blacks look like, you could clearly, without the volume, sit there and see
but
and
not
tell.
always is all I'm saying. It's just not always clear.
You leave it up to the liberals. They gonna push the narrative that it's blacks. But I just want to bring up that story. That's all. This ain't got nothing to do with blacks and black crime. We talking about migrants and them running around in Chicago with knives and stuff. And I just wanted to bring the story to you. If you go ahead, I'm listening.
No, I understand you're bringing the story, but it did have a purpose. It did have a purpose. I appreciate the conversation, Art. I'm not fighting with you here. I'm just repeating what you said, right? You brought up how the public perception of this is incorrect because they are watching these videos, specifically the one you brought up, and thinking those are blacks when it was all migrants. And I'm with you, man. Look, I'm with you, man. These people are going into the black communities, bringing their own mess. They got their issues, but blacks have their issues. And I guess maybe I'm harping on this a little bit because I'm remembering our conversation yesterday a bit, where you were basically you were just saying that blacks are not responsible for their behavior, that they learned it from Europeans.
Illegal aliens ain't my issue, though, until it's forced upon me. You see what I'm saying?
I understand that. That's one issue, but the blacks thing is their own thing. It doesn't discount that at all. And the people who are watching those videos making that assumption, that is not coming from nowhere. It's coming from their reaction to black crime. You understand? So migrants is a problem.
I get what you're saying.
And the black crime is a problem in Chicago. It's been for a long time. Everybody knows that about Chicago. And so they're just separate things.
What? Repeat that last part. Repeat the last part. You said they doing what because of black crime now? Would you say that?
I'm saying that black crime in Chicago has been a problem for a long time. And I don't know if that's the migrants' fault.
And that gives them the right to assume that a person is black just because I'm trying to get why are you saying that just because it's black people committing crime in what was his name all the time, that justifies somebody assuming that when they see a person of color, oh, that's just the Negro blacks?
I'm not saying it justifies it. I'm just saying it explains it. So it doesn't require any more mystery and trying to figure out from us, like, are they racist? Do they hate blacks? No, they're reacting to black crime, and they may have anger in them as well. We could talk about that, but you understand that there's not much mystery there. There's not really much to uncover, and black crime is still their own problem, and it was a problem before the migrants and all that. You understand? I guess I'm harping on this because it feels a little bit like you might be is this what you're saying, Art? Are you saying why are people paying attention to the blacks when all these migrants are doing this?
No, I'm not saying. I'm just pointing out how the liberals do.
Right
on. How the liberal narrative, how they try to push and put stuff out or whatnot because they trying to cover up the mess that they created.
Would you like to talk with someone here who wants to talk with you, Sean? What's Frederick want to ask Art? Anyways, I don't understand this. I don't understand his question. What's he want to talk about with Art? Would you like to talk with Frederick, Sean? Art?
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, let's put him on the air here. Oh, no. I don't know how to do two people on the air, and I just hung up on Art.
Oh, no. Can you hear me?
Hold on. Stay on the air. Stay on the air. Okay. Art, is that you?
Yeah, it's me.
Art, I hung up on you by accident. You're on the air with Frederick. How you doing, folks? Appreciate you guys being on.
What up, RDR, baby?
Where Frederick got baby.
Let's go.
What's up. That's what's up. I'm about to explain to you and Nick real quick that
Thank you.
PTSD is what Nick is suffering from when they see the blacks acting like that in the first place. And you're concerned with the blacks because you have Stockholm syndrome and you don't want them to confuse the migrants with you because you love Master and you want Master to look kindly on you. But Master don't care if it's immigrants or blacks acting a fool because they are already suffering from PTSD and they scared of staying in their houses to begin with because PTSD is real. That's all I want.
So let's break that down. I mean, Art, would you like to respond?
Huh?
Art, you go ahead and respond. My bad.
Nah, man. Hey, Frederica Liberty, he gonna do what he do. I already know what Frederica's saying. I can't do nothing but smirk and laugh, man. Bro, funny. But no, I
he's trying to say that
what
are you trying to say that he's what Art is saying is just because what he wants Massa to like him? Explain that, Frederica.
Yeah, don't get them confused. They giving us a bad rap, and I feel Art, but y'all gonna think regardless. Like you just told him, blacks act like that, and y'all give them a reason to think that that's y'all anyway. So Art, you explaining to Art how y'all suffering from post-traumatic stress, but you don't even think it exists.
Wait, how am I suffering from PTSD? Break that down for me.
Okay, remember when you said everybody's born through the mama, and through the mama they get the mama spirit? That's PTSD in the making. Just being born through the vagina, through the woman, you already attached to the mama spirit, and that's why everybody's unconscious, right?
I may have said something like that. I may have said something like that in reference to maybe something Jesse said.
They unconscious.
That's not really my wheelhouse. That's not something I really go around saying.
Oh, okay, but everybody in there.
But hold up, Frederick. Let's stay in this conversation. How am I showing PTSD with what we're talking about here?
Because you're scared of the blacks.
And how am I? And how did I? Thank you.
What's wrong with the blacks is causing fear. You trying to figure out.
This is how we keep things. This is how we keep things nice and clear. So thank you. You made the statement. I have the PTSD because I'm showing fear of the blacks. Now, please, explain how I'm showing that fear to the blacks.
Because you think something's wrong with them. That puts you in victim mode.
And so, what did I do or say that expresses this? What you're saying?
Anytime where you feel like your country's gone, anti-white rhetoric, y'all need more white babies.
So anti-white rhetoric, like more white babies. So you said two things so far.
Right?
What?
You say all blacks got this spirit. It's just a matter of time when
all blacks have
right?
what? I've never said that. I've literally never said those. I've literally never said that on my show.
Well, it's some kind of thing.
He just said, folks. He just said. Isn't that something you say, Nick? That blacks have this spirit, and it's just a matter of time till it comes out. I don't even know what the heck you're talking about, Frederick. When have I ever said?
Yeah, you
matter of time till what comes out.
They attach. Listen, Nick. Listen, and I'll explain it to you. Just hush. You say blacks will always come out and show their blackness eventually. Like, even though they'd be like proper black or whatever, their little blackness will come out and they'll
I've never said that.
They'll
I've literally never said that.
Hang on to the blackness. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you're talking about identity. That's different. See, it's a nasty way that Frederick talks. It's a nasty way that Frederick talks when he. It's a nasty way. It's a nasty way that Frederick talks when he likes to add all this little emotion to what he heard you say. It's a nasty way that Frederick talks, and it's also a nasty way how he likes interrupting after I was so nice and let him on with my caller Art. So let me explain. He's saying about the black identity thing. This is what I've said. I've said this about black conservatives. He's trying to say like. It's only a matter of time till their N-word comes out or something. I don't know where the heck Frederick has taken that. Let me be clear. I've said this about black conservatives, and I say this about anyone who has identity issues, right? And anyone who has for example, if you get a black conservative, black Republican guy, especially in politics, eventually it seems to be the case that a lot of them, because they're so into the black thing, or at least one part of them won't let go of the black identity, that they'll be Republicans, they'll be patriots, they'll be Trump supporters, they'll be with you, with the patriots in America. But, whoa, if you challenge the black thing, whoa, that's where the Republican drops, that's where the conservative drops. No, I'm still black, don't get me wrong. And whites did this, and racism still exists, boom, boom, boom. And so all of a sudden, this black conservative is really only cares about this black identity. So that's what I was saying, Frederick.
Hold up, Frederick. Hold on. Let me ask Nick something real quick.
Yes.
So what do you feel about? What do you feel like when the conservatives and they whiteness come out?
Yeah. What about it?
That trailer park whiteness. How do you feel about that?
What about it? Same thing.
No, I'm
think about it. Same thing. Think about it. Think the same thing. How is it any different?
Okay, just making sure. Okay, we keeping the same energy.
No.
Keeping the same energy.
Yeah,
See, keeping the same energy. It's keeping the same energy. All of a sudden now it's like
No.
all of a sudden their internal thing went off and it was like, wait a second, Nick, are you being racist?
But they white to begin with, Nick. That wasn't the first question. Art don't know how to ask a question. Art don't know how to. Now you saying the regular blacks
see what I'm talking about?
already identify with the blacks, so the conservatives they'll identify with the blacks, even being conservative. So all blacks got the same identity. Is that what you?
I have an example for you with the white thing. Think about it.
I'm asking you a question.
There are white people. What was your question?
The whites gonna be white regardless. They ain't gonna. That same thing don't apply.
What did you just say? What white thing doesn't apply?
They don't apply. They can't go two different ways. On the blacks.
Okay.
We talking about blacks in the black.
Okay, clearly you've been confused. Clearly you've been confused somewhere. Let me make it clear. Here, let me give you an example. How about I give you an example of a white guy doing it? Maybe that'll make it clear that I'm talking about the spirit and not the skin color. But here's an example of a white guy doing it. I see and hear. I look at young white guys too, but I'll hear about and see white guys who are like, I'm a patriot, I'm an American, I'm a Christian even. They'll say, I'm a Christian, I love Jesus. And then they'll go around and say, then they'll turn around out of like an anger and do things that are not quite Christian, that are not very American, just to get at the other side. So there you go. There's your example on the whites.
Like what? That wasn't just to do stuff. You said just to
It's
do
literally
stuff.
the same thing, but you guys can't see past white and black.
No.
Well,
you talking about your caller Mark?
Hold up, Fred.
Are you talking about like Mark or somebody?
I didn't say anybody.
Oh, hold up, man.
I didn't say a name, Frederick.
What's wrong with the
Gossipers. I didn't say a name. Gossipers want to start fights.
At a milder rate.
Frederick and Art, make your points.
Instead of a milder rate.
Yeah, Frederick.
You're more beta than Mark.
Make your point, Frederick. Okay.
Exactly how you feel.
See, look, he wants to talk about men. He wants to bring up men's. I'm making a clear point.
I respect him for saying exactly.
Wow, he's still talking. So Frederick's on hold. I'm making a clear point and talking to an individual man, and he wants to bring another man's name that I didn't even mention and all that. And Frederick, you're a man. You're a male. You're like a male guy.
A male guy.
All right, Frederick, make your point quick.
Yeah,
go.
What?
Last thing you want to say, go.
Nothing. I ain't trying to bring up that, but I'm just saying PTSD. PTSD is real. So is everything else that the psychologists prescribe. And just because you haven't been to war and want to sign up to go to war to see it, it ain't the same as seeing guts.
Frederick, would you go to Chicago's inner cities at night?
Yeah.
Okay, Art, would you go to Chicago inner cities
at night?
Huh? Well,
I go to LA Skid Row.
If you guys were white, would you do it?
Oh my God! Quit victimizing like the whites have a past.
All right.
Or not be scared.
Thanks, Frederick. You made your point. Art, is there something you want to say here?
Yes.
Because he's talking about fear, right, folks? He's talking about fear, right? And he wants to say I have some like PTSD and weird fear about it. No, I don't really think about blacks in that way. I didn't grow up around violent blacks or all that like other people say, and they have experiences. I don't have those experiences. I don't have anything like that. But I'm also it's pretty reasonable. Reasonable people have like that practical fear that they'll walk away from danger kind of thing.
At one time, when I was talking about pulling up and Christiana Dawn was on your show, it felt like you started getting out your character. You started calling people names, other callers, and it's like, yeah, you're a punk. And I was like, no, calm down. You just like, it overwhelmed you, it came over you. Anger, I could tell like PTSD could be like the next step if something could have happened. I was just like, no,
wait, what are you talking about?
Pull up and show love. But I'm just saying PTS could be real.
You're just blabbering, man. No one's understanding you. Are you talking about?
All right, buddy. Later. You have a good day.
Appreciate it, sir. Call me again.
Yep. All right. So,
Art, you want to say something here?
Yeah, man. I was trying to cut into what Fred was saying or whatnot. And no, I'm just saying as far as you was even what he was saying or whatnot. I feel like what he was saying is this. Y'all feel like it's something. Okay, let me give you a prime example. When I say that allegedly Yahweh, which y'all calling the Christians calling Jesus, was black, y'all be like, oh man, how you figure that?
Who's that?
Say that.
Who are you talking about?
Huh?
Who are you talking about?
I'm just saying.
Are you talking about me?
Jesse.
Are you talking about me?
Jesse and Hay. Jesse and Hay. So
you seen Jesse go? You seen Jesse Hay go? Oh, like do all that?
No, I'm being. You come on, man. Come on, man. Everybody know Jesse don't be like that. He'd say amazing, but he ain't. I'm just being funny.
Well, Hake is saying that. I understand you. My bad. I'm being obtuse. Hake is saying that's definitely how he responds. Go ahead.
What? Amazing?
No, I'm following what you're saying. That they react a certain way when about the Jesus thing in blacks. You were saying something. My bad.
Well, I'm saying y'all look like when I say that, y'all like, oh man, artist, he's going back to his pro-black. Like, nah, I'm just reading with, spitting with factually written. Then, and that's what I'm saying on the other end.
But I don't say that. I don't say that about that. I've never said that about that, and I don't even think that. I don't even think that you would be pro-black because you thought that about Jesus. Every race thinks that about Jesus. You know, I'd say that I'd say about you that if there's anything about you that gives me that impression of, oh yeah, he's a conservative, but hey, challenge the black part, that all falls away. If there's anything about you that gives me that impression is what you were saying yesterday about that black behavior simply was learned from European behavior, which is ridiculous. So you believe in racism, you blame the whites for what the blacks are doing, and so at the end of the day, you're still black. You know what I'm saying by that? So it wasn't the Jesus comment would never make me think that.
Well, I never said it was you. You that said that. I said Jesse and Hay. I clearly said that. And you making me think that that's how you feel because you take.
But I'm telling you the opposite. I'm telling you exactly how I feel, and you're thinking other.
I never thought that you even feel or said that. I'm just going off using that as an example, and that's all I was doing when I even brought that up. And you think that I'm crazy because what's the percentage of white people in America?
I didn't call you crazy.
And
I never called you crazy.
Well, you say, or you think that we're not crazy. I'm sorry. You said that you
just identified with the black thing.
Yeah, black.
That's all. I've said it quite clearly. Just identified with the black thing to the point where you'll even think that.
Gotcha.
That blacks learned their behavior. That blacks learned behaviors like robbing and stealing from Europeans, like they invented it.
Yeah.
So I'm being quite clear with what I'm saying. I don't want to slander you. I don't want to say I don't want to read your mind or comment on your heart. And if I've done that, Art, defend yourself now so that we can move on.
I misquoted you, Nick.
Thank you, sir.
But what's the percentage of the whites in America?
I don't know. Majority. Make your point.
Majority. So I think it's about 60 to about somewhere between 60 to 65% of whites in America. So what was the percentage back in 1900, 1800 in whites or whatnot? It was probably way more than that. About 80 to somewhere between that. So you telling me that you don't think that 1% don't learn the majority of their behavior from the majority? I mean, the only thing you got to do is go to a school and see what the fad is, FAD, or what's popular and what's going on. And you might have came from a different school and go to a new school, and you can switch your whole style up to with the new school you at. And that's because of when you go to that school, you see at your I'm trying to be more specific because I'm kind of like stepping on myself. You'll be at a school where they wear Skechers. You'll go to your new school and they wear the Skechers everybody in the school wears Skechers at that first school that you go to. Then you would transfer and go to another school, and then everybody's wearing Jordans. And typically, a person that they see or whatnot wearing a certain style is only
I'm following. Yeah, of course.
Acceptable that they would follow that style. Because if you go to a school where they don't wear Skechers, you probably gonna get clowned and talked about.
You know what? I'm understanding your analogy and all this, Art. I think we could clear this up with a simple question. We could clear this up with one question. We clear this up with one question. What's wrong with adult blacks today that they have adopted? If this is true, what you're saying and all that, that they're just wearing the Skechers that the white people told them, that they're just wearing the Skechers that they saw the white people wearing. If this is true, What's wrong with the adult blacks today that are wearing the Skechers, that are adopting these European ways that are evil? What's wrong with them?
You can't tell somebody. You can't sit there and tell somebody to stop committing crime when you seeing whites in politics on the news.
So who did the whites learn it from?
Right? Hold up, stop. Committing
no,
crime.
But we've already spent too much time on this, Art. That's the reason. It's not a personal thing. I'm not trying to be rude. It's just we already spent way too much time on this, so I'm going to move this way quicker. So it's just how it's going to be, Art, okay? So real quick, you're basically saying that that how can you tell them to do better, to stop doing what they're doing if the whites are? So then what? Yeah. So then how do the whites learn it? Where do the whites learn it?
Real quick, the same way that I would say that we don't have no business in
Where did the whites learn it? Where did the whites learn it? Art, we got to do this quick.
From their daddy, the devil.
So the blacks can blame the whites, but the whites have to blame the devil.
I don't know how much you need to go pick your Bible up, but the point is that just like I was just saying, yeah, that's where they get it from. That's the quickest answer. And I'm saying when I say about Israel and Palestine, America don't have no business worried about them when they are corrupt. That's my point. You can't sit here and say that, oh, blacks is committing crime when white people committing crime right on news or whatnot in everybody's face on a public channel. CNN.
Thank you, Art.
Yep.
I'm sorry, sir. We got to move it.
You all right.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate
Call me again, man.
Thank you.
888-775-3773. Appreciate the patience, folks. You know, we had to hash that out, and maybe the anchor baby is not using his time well. We got more calls, 888-775-3773. We're going to plow through these calls. Don't go anywhere, but I need to tell you about CANDACE. Candace Owens. You got to hear this. You got to hear this, what's going on. Candace Owens embroiled in a controversy. It's about schmornography. Porn. It's Candace Owens. We love Candace, right? We know we love Candace, even though she should maybe be at home with her kids. But we love Candace, right? Ban pornography, she says. It is a psychological weapon intended to weaken our men. 5.5 million views. This stupid woman is like, yeah, F freedom. It's like, we don't even want freedom. But all the base Catholics and men and even the women in the chat, they're like, ban pornography, yeah. It's severely damaging to women as well. Why does a Jewish rabbi own porn? Okay. Wow. Okay, so those are the comments on Candace Owens. And Pearly, you know Pearly. We love Pearly. I'm talking about Pearl Davis. She was a previous guest on The Fallen State, Jesse Lee Peterson. She's got something to say about this. Pearly says no. Pearly's retweeting or whatever Candace Owens' tweet here. Pearl Davis says, if women do not want to have sex with young men, what are the men supposed to do? Be abstinent until the 30-year-old woman decides they are ready to have sex with them? You know, she's talking about how women don't marry. They'll go later, they'll have all their fun, and then they're 30 and they're like, okay, now I'll settle down and marry. And so Pearl's watching out for those young men. What? So you ban the porn, they got to be abstinent, only marry, because, you know, Candace is into all that, right? The real men, they marry, they don't do the porn, they're abstinent until they marry, because that's what a real man is, right? And we're all learning what real men are all of a sudden. Everyone knows now. And with their brand new knowledge of what a man is, it seems like women and people online are just having a field day. No understanding. No one loves women and no one loves men. There's no love for them. And let me explain what I mean. You might think, okay, what, Nick? You're defending pornography? Is this what the Bond Network has come to? Pearl Davis, you're just teaming up with some pro-porn woman? Don't be so shallow and obtuse, okay? Because look at Candace's response to this. So Pearl Davis is asking, well, what am I supposed to do? Look at these women, they don't want to marry until they're later, da-da-da. Candace responds to this. She says, a lot of guys in the comments here provided you with an answer to your question, LOL. Little nasty LOL. Because they are men, not perverts. They recognize the ills of pornography. The idea of a woman defending pornography doesn't seem to impress them. Maybe I'm adding that voice. Maybe Candace didn't say it like that at all. But I get this air. Of a lot of guys in the comments already told you the truth, you stupid girl. LOL. It's so obvious. They're perverts and they're men. Are you stupid, Pearl? That's the vibe. That's the air I get out of this. But why, Candace? These men are not perverts. How do you know that, Candace? Just because they said that? Just because they said so? Oh, they told you I'm a Christian. Oh, Candace. So you heard them say I'm a Christian or something. Or they're in your little comments here liking your tweet and going like, W, Candace, right on, girl. These are the non-pervert men you're talking about, Candace? What do you know about them? If only you could hear men's thoughts, Candace. If only we could hear your thoughts, Candace. If only we could hear the thoughts, huh? And the fact that you call them perverted like that for that action that they take shows really a shallow understanding. Now, I don't blame you. Candace, because that's what the world thinks, you know? But you, I gotta say, Candace, and all the men in your comments going like, right on, Candace. Men like that are the perverts, not me. I like intimacy with my wife. I'm not a pervert. I like intimacy with my wife. Those are the perverts, Candace. Right on, girl. Candace, though, you and those men are just pretending. It's posture. It's total posture. Because that's what conservatism is. Have you noticed that? Conservatism, that's how so-called Christians act today. It's all posture. Big words, bud. Let me give you some other big words. Lust in the mind. Remember when Jesus said about lust in the mind? Let's talk about that. You don't even know what a pervert is. You don't even know how men got there. You don't even know what happened. You don't even understand what's happening here. You're just a Christian woman or something, huh, Candace? You're just, hey, these are perverts. And all the men in the chat going like, yeah, Candace, I don't watch porn. And they might not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not judging that. I have no reason to believe otherwise. They say that. But they're like, I'm not a pervert. Candace, right on. Let me show you some responses, in fact, to maybe flesh this out. Some men in the comments, they're like, it's self-control. It's just self-control, Pearl. Look at this guy. What are they supposed to do? It's called self-control, Pearl. What a dangerous thought. Men are not entitled to sex. It's a blessing, not a right. And this is supposed to be the non-pervert? Sex is a blessing. It's such a blessing. The intimacy with my wife. You know husbands and wives do porn in their bedrooms. You know what I'm saying? Like stop with this pretending. And you're like, and this guy's like, what are they supposed to do? It's called self-control. Okay, Samuel Gonzalez. If this self-control exists and is so easy, why do you need to ban porn? Let's just be self-controlled. I'm starting to see that the Christians, the red pillars, the people here have shallow understanding. They don't really know what they're talking about. Okay? It's self-control, Pearl. It's a psychological weapon, Pearl. Candace is right. It's a psychological weapon intended to weaken society as a whole. It causes feminization of men and masculinization of women. Okay, Malcolm. So what's wrong with you that you picked it up? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you that you picked up this weapon, this psychological weapon? And what's wrong with the men that once you tell them that, it doesn't necessarily mean they stop? Let's be real here, folks. Because I know that we're in the comments and we're on Twitter and we're like, I'm a Christian. I'm with Candace. You're right. It's wrong. But then inside, the thoughts are like, but why can't I stop? And that's what men are going through. That's what we need. And there's an answer to that. We could talk about that. But going like, those are just perverts. Candace is probably a pervert. Hey, okay, let me take that back. Look, what I'm trying to say is that most women don't realize they're perverts, and they don't even realize that. They think they're sweet. They think, oh, sex is a blessing. But they are perverted in that they get life out of sex. They get life out of touch and attention. You're perverted. That's perverted. Guess what, ladies? That is perverted. You think that's love? You think that's love? Oh, because he made you feel right? And then if the feelings go away, it's hate and divorce? Yeah, that's perversion of the highest degree. Emotional intimacy. Look at this. Oh, look at this guy, Dalton. You're comparing emotional fulfillment of intimacy between a husband and wife with the depraved feeling of nutting. Oh, I'm sorry. Of doing this nasty thing into a sock. Apologies. Men do not need to masturbate to just release a feeling. And hearing it from women like you that it's bound to happen is wrong. Okay, two things here. The emotional fulfillment of intimacy, just you talking like that is perverted, man. What the heck is the difference between the emotional fulfillment of intimacy and this thing here that you're doing into a sock? What the heck is the difference? I get it. One is with a woman. But what the heck is the difference? Like, you're releasing the same functions and feelings. You're doing the very same thing. And then this whole thing about not needing to do that. Well, yeah, sure. I get that. The world says you need sex and all that. It's a lie. But can we still need to talk about all the men who can agree with this and they're like, yes, this is right. This is the life I want. But why can't I do it? Why can't I do it? I can't seem to make myself do it. I can't seem to change myself. Yeah, so that's what's on my mind a little bit. Oh, what else about this? It's this bandwagon, you know? It's this bandwagon and posturing, you know? That Christians and conservatives talk about that. Like, again, hopefully you follow me here. I think it shows lack of understanding. Look, see, Bryson Gray, I like him. I have no problem with him. You know, he's a Christian guy. He has a very legalistic view, in my opinion, of the Bible and stuff. He says banning porn is such a simple statement. That seems so controversial because people lack self-control and are addicted to it. And it's like, I bet you obviously we can see the truth in that, obviously. Look at Christians. Look at all the world. They accept evil because in reality they are evil. They have it within them and they have not figured out how to deal with it. And so they have a hard time calling it evil in others because it's like condemning yourself, right? Well, we don't have to condemn anyone. And about this, Bryson, if this were true, then why would we need to ban it? It's such a simple statement, right? It's so controversial because people lack self-control. Do you think banning it would give people self-control? I mean, these are Christians, right? These are the Christians, the ones who should have the answers to the big questions like this. Self-control. What is love? What is a man? And they're really no different than the world. And I'm not saying don't ban porn, by the way. That's not what I'm saying at all. You know me a little bit. I could be a little fascista. I get a little excited with when I see the Empire. I'm pro-Empire. These rebels in Star Wars. I get a little excited when I see a strong empire and a strong populace who wants Christian things, even all the way into their laws and all. I get it. I get excited too. But we're talking about real things here. And people lack this self-control that we're talking about. And if you want that, call the Hake Report. He'll tell you how to do it. He'll tell you how to get that. Okay, I think that's it on the schmornography. Keep it clean, okay? I'm sorry. I know it got nasty. I got nasty. But you got to understand that it's not about, I needed to explain to you things, okay? We're not trying to be vulgar here. But this is the R-rated show. No, hold on. I'm sorry. I didn't swear. I may have gone gross. But hey, this is what's going on, okay? And we got to talk about it a little bit. Yeah, schmornography. What else here? Banning it, self-control. The Christians seem to prove that they don't have it. What else here? Pearl. I think that made sense, right? Y'all following? I think we can move on. I'm laughing at my chat here. You guys understanding me here? I mean, again, I'm not saying I wouldn't ban it, but can you guys agree with me that this conversation, that whole conversation, Candace, the only one who's showing some kind of real kind of talk about it was Pearl. And they're saying, you know what they're saying about her? They're saying this is your average trad girl. Your average traditional girl is like Pearl, is like this. This Ray guy on Twitter saying, Pearl's your average trad girl. No, Candace is your average trad girl. They think they know what a man is. They think they know what they think they know what a man is because they learned it. And then they beat men over their head with that. That's your trad girl. That's what a traditional girl is. Look for, if you're going around looking, don't go around looking. But let's say you're dating, and it's like, Nick, what should I watch out for? That she doesn't judge you. And I know that's a big ask, maybe, but it's possible, I think. Or at least it's possible to find, I've met them, women who at least want to do that. They want to be someone who doesn't judge. I think it's possible. And what else? What else about this? Your average trad girl. Let's get to some calls. I got the lines full. I appreciate the patience, folks. We got Robert. I got Robert. Yes, Gunner, Chicago. How you doing, sir? Appreciate your call.
Hi, how you doing? This is Yes Gunner, but yeah.
I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean to.
No, whoever's answering calls told me to get my names out there. All right.
Oh, Lord. Hey, no worries.
No, I think it's Joel, right?
No. Let's move on. Nothing happened. You go ahead. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I want to kind of talk about the human emotion, where you were talking about men not being able to,
yes,
like how you were saying that they should bottle it up and not really,
normalize shoving it.
Show any of that womanly emotion, as you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say, there's like a lot of, mental health issues out there, and sometimes, with how men express that, they might let out some emotions, and that's been going on in every industry, and there's been a push with an emphasis on, working out mental health and actually seeking out help with, with these thoughts or issues that one might be going through.
Yes.
Especially in the aviation community, there's a lot of push where there's been surveys where pilots answer and they've answered in which they said that they're dealing with mental health, and they're scared to seek help because if they seek help, their pilot license are suspended, and they have to go through psychiatric help or seek therapy and that sort of thing. So it's kind of I kind of disagree where you're saying like, hey, you guys should just bottle it up. If an individual is crying like every day and like it's having issues every day, then yeah, seek help. But or do something different. But if men have to cry, then men have to cry. Like when my daughter was born, I saw life. That changed me. So of course that was like only thing I wanted for her to do was stop crying. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to stop her from crying. So yeah, that made me emotional. And it's not that I learned.
I don't judge you for that.
Yeah, that's what it is. How you have saying, I don't agree with some of the things you're saying. Well, hey, men should bottle it up. Men should not show anything. And to a certain degree, I kind of do agree with it because I'm Mexican. So what they say is, don't worry about it. You'll be good.
Yeah.
Go get drunk 2 days. You'll be good. So that's,
yeah.
That old way, it's like it has to get phased out, and we're in a new generation where there is resources out there for men to seek help with. I'm just encouraging it for any listener or watcher.
I hear you, yes, Gunner. Look, I hear you on this way because, like you described, and like I've even saying in this show, man, what people are going through, even if it's an illusion, they're going through it, right? And then with men, for example, they'll just laugh, right? It's not even a real thing. mental health.
Right.
And so I can understand a bit of that. But let's bring it to today. And what's happening today? They're saying, the world is saying that the response to that is, well, we need to talk about it more. We need therapy. We need a da-da-da. We're seeing that. We're living in that already. Would you say, yes, Gunnar, in your estimation, that anxiety, fear, depression, weakness, etc., is it going down or up?
I think it's personal opinion. I can't cite any studies. I think it's either the same or it's gone up.
Fair enough. Yeah, in my opinion, I'd say in my whole lifetime growing up, people have gone just crazier. What I see online, the way people talk, the way people think, in my estimation, people have gone crazier. And so maybe you might disagree with some things I said, but on that point, wouldn't you agree that that may be evidence that that's not working? I'm not saying the way your family learned, the Mexican way, just drink. I'm not saying that we should go to that. I'm not saying that that's going to work, but keeping it simple on this point, on the pro-emotion, talk about it, don't stigmatize it. Does it seem like it's working? I'd say it's not.
Well, the reason
I'd
is
say people are talking
people
about it more. They're crazier. They're signal boosting. They're telling each other these false things are real. They're believing it. That's what I've seen. What do you think?
Well, that's because they're refusing to seek help, and that's where I step in, and I actually, I want to say that, I advocate for veterans. I'm a very strong believer in the armed forces. Whether it's gone a little lefty now, there's still a majority of men who are very hardcore and have a strong sense of patriotic love for the country that don't know how to seek help. And usually the best way for them to do is, they go to the Veterans Hospital and that sort of thing, and they seek the Hospital of Veteran Affairs, and they'll seek help. But when we talk about people in the streets, and going psycho, and this is all stuff that you're describing in LA, man. I don't know, man. You guys should
But what do you think about it? You think those people? That's the thing. That's what I'm trying to say here. Before we get to what I'm saying about bottling it up, let's deal with the world's response, which you agree with, of don't stigmatize, talk about it, let out your emotions. You're saying, let's deal with that. You're saying that's good, but I don't see the evidence. I see people getting crazier. Now, I understand you're saying, but it's good, but programs or whatever about veterans, and I noticed that they bottle it up or whatever. What were you saying about that?
But you were saying I don't know how they could, off someone and they don't know how to deal with it. Dude, that.
Okay, I'd love that. Think about that though. What? Yeah, okay. What's traumatizing about that? Let's say you saw a video on the internet of someone getting beheaded. Let's not go to war let's not go to war yet where you committed the act where you're killing someone. Let's just say you saw it. Let's just say you saw it on the internet.
I think the best way for you to understand is, to do research on it or read into it.
No, but just you, without research. If you saw the video, if you saw a video like that, would you be traumatized?
A bit.
And what would be traumatizing about it?
It's not normal. It's not something that you go out and see in front of you.
Okay, so it's shocking. So it's shocking.
It's shocking.
Okay, so far shocking. What else?
And obviously, with the first instances of PTSD were known as shell shock.
So okay, shocking.
These veterans were coming in for World War I, and they were just their nervous system was just stretched, and they were suffering, shaking, and they just experienced trench warfare. So it was called shell shock. That's why it's shocking. Would I say that that everybody that watches those videos have shell shock? I don't think so. But it's not something that you're watching every single day. But what I'm trying to say is that
so it's the shock. So far, the trauma is the shock. That's so far what you've described. Is there anything else about it that's traumatizing other than the shock you receive when you see it?
You can't get it out of your head. But that's what happened with a lot of Vietnam veterans. That they, you do the estimates, 50,000 Americans died versus like 1 million of Vietnamese died. What the U.S. Army and the U.S. Armed Forces did in Vietnam was just a massacre. So they were coming back home, hanging themselves, cutting their necks. They didn't know what to do. That's why during the early 2000s, a lot of these, homeless people in the streets were Vietnam veterans. They didn't know how to deal with it. They didn't, even though the resources were there, the Hospital of Veteran Affairs were there, they just didn't want to deal with it because it was just very traumatizing. Why? Because war is not.
Maybe that's radical. Maybe you guys don't understand me on how I'm incredulous. Why horrific scenes should be traumatizing at all. I personally don't think they should be. I understand why they are, and I'm now understanding more because it's the shock you receive when you see it. Now imagine if you could just not overreact to that shock. Just because to me, maybe this is too far, but it's just guts if you really think about it. But okay, fine. Maybe you don't get that. You're saying, though, you are making a point here, though, and you're talking about the veterans, and they go to the VA. You're talking about all the stuff they get. Are the veterans getting better? Have they overcome the PTSD?
I've seen, I don't want to just narrow them down, but I can't tell you yes or no, because I don't know. But what I could tell you, there's veterans that don't seek help and deal with it and live a life, but deep down, I'm aware that some just like, damn, there's something's off about them. And there's one.
So it's not helping talking about it. And destigmatizing it. They're still PTSD'd.
Yeah, they're bottling it up, and they're never gonna,
I'll say this, yes, Gunner. Here's something I'm positive about. Any person who still says they have PTSD will never overcome it. They'll never get. If they believe, if they may be doing all the stuff, they may be doing better in life. They may be doing amazing, but they'll always have PTSD. Simply because they believe it. They say they do. And that may be too radical. Maybe that's radical for some people or something. I'm not a doctor, but anyways, may not have proof for you on that, but I can ask you about this real quick. And then we can move on. About this bottling up thing.
Yeah.
Here's my version. Because I get what you were describing. Oh, just drink, man. Just ignore it. That's what the world says to do with bottling up. When I'm saying bottling up, This is how I'm saying it. There's a different way you could do bottling up in a different way, and it might be tough at first. But when you do this bottling up, when you keep it in and you don't tell anybody and you don't even show it on your face, you don't have to do what the world does and live with it inside of you. You understand what I'm saying here? Like. And feel it and live with it and internally call it true and real and look at how I'm feeling and look, I got to do something to stop feeling this way. You've now made this thing real. Do you understand me so far?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what I mean by bottling it up. I'm not saying it like the world. I'm saying that there's an interesting thing you can do with this bottling up is you actually don't have to deal with it or figure it out and feel it. You could just leave it there. And it might be, you're going to get thoughts, you're going to get all these urges to deal with it, but you don't have to. You really don't have to. And I don't think the world does not tell the veterans and everybody in the world that they don't have to deal and figure out the feelings and thoughts when you bottle it up. And so they think, well, then my only option is, the only way out is I have to let it out. But if you notice, the people who let it out stay the way. They still have that in them.
But
they never get over it.
But you fail to talk about how there's still medication for those sort of things. I don't advocate for it, but there's the last resort or one of the first resorts that people will take is anxiety medication, depression medication, and that stuff. That alters your way of thinking. Even though I'm not an advocate for it, I think we should.
I don't discount that, man. I don't discount that at all. I'm not going to be ignorant. I'm not going to be ignorant to the success. I'm sorry. What were you saying?
But that's why some of those medications are prohibited for pilots to take to continue flying. That's why when
would you want? Are you feeling bad for the pilots that are getting their licenses revoked because they're crazy? Shouldn't you be happy about that?
Yeah, but then when you're going to be right there complaining on Twitter, oh, my flight's delayed, there's no pilots. Oh, that's when you're going to start, complaining about this sort of thing.
But the answer to that is not Well, just let the crazies fly the plane. Oh, well, we don't want to complain about late flights, so let the crazies fly the planes. Because we don't want to judge them either. We don't want to judge the crazies. Let them fly the planes. That's not the response, man. That's not the answer.
No. But I'm saying where they have a good pilot career. Well, 20 years doing the same thing, something's gonna start going on.
I'd fire them right away. I wouldn't even think about it. Because someone who's wrestling with that,
but that's
I'm not going to judge them.
Hiring. And that's where your new pilots are all going to be DEI, and that's where you're going to keep complaining and complaining. Like, hey, we should fire these crazy pilots.
I'll complain till the end. I'll never stop. I'll never stop complaining.
Thank you for my call, man.
I love it, man. Please call me again.
All right. No, I appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
You too. 888-775-3773. But what was I going to say to him before I let him go? He said, bye all nice, and He said, bye all nice, and I forgot what I was going to say. Pilots. What was I saying about pilots? Yeah, you can't let the crazies fly. Look, I'd fire him right away. Imagine someone wrestling with that. Here's what you got to understand. It's not about judging them or condemning. But someone who's wrestling with something like that, everyone around them, even if they don't know it, somewhere inside, something tells them, oh, watch that person. There's a danger here. Even someone who's just like, I don't know, I just don't understand my mind. I just get these thoughts and I get these feelings. Yeah, you can maybe relate and be like, yeah. But that doesn't stop the reality of how people take that. And they're not entirely wrong for taking it that way. Someone wrestling with that is not right. And most people are, but you understand, some people make it real and they talk about it. They say it out loud and they're like, I'm just crazy. I'm just feeling this way. And they go way deeper into it than they ever needed to. And we have a culture that tells them that that's not crazy. That's just PTSD. So hopefully you understand me now. We got more calls. We got Jeff out of Ohio. You're on the air, sir.
Louisiana.
Oh, sorry, they got your information wrong. This is Jeff out of Louisiana. How you doing, sir?
Pretty good, man. Okay, I'll try to make it quick since I'm in
Thank you.
Couple minutes. Okay, the story you ran over, I want to ask you a question about. Do you think a man should cry in front of a woman? Do you think that's a man?
Do I think a man should cry in front of a woman? No.
Yeah. Okay, so how do you call her evil because she doesn't want to be with a man that cries in front of a woman?
Why am I calling who evil?
You called the woman evil because she didn't want to be with a man that cries in front of a woman.
So I'm remembering. You're talking about the tweet, right? The tweet that Matt Walsh was responding to?
Yeah, so why do you call her evil because she don't be in front of the keyboard man?
Let me be more accurate. Let me be a little bit more accurate. The evil part that may or may not be in that particular tweet is in this desire to like criticize publicly and judge the weakness in the man. She may be correct. A woman may be correct in not wanting her man to cry, but you shouldn't judge that. Let's say you do see him crying. Let's say you do see him crying, and then you judge that in him. That's the evil inside of you. The weakness and evil inside the man is the emotions and the crying in this situation, and the weakness and evil in the woman is her judgment of that weakness.
Okay, but you're not evil for judging him yourself.
I didn't say that. If I'm judging, I'm evil.
Okay, that's the first time.
Did I judge him? What did I do or say that tells you I was judging him?
Y'all judge him every day on your show, on Jesse's show. Y'all follow Jesse. So y'all speak the same thing he does. Y'all judge everybody. Basically, y'all say the same thing.
I resent that, sir. Take it back.
You can resent
it's
all
discernment.
You want, you follow Jesse. You follow Jesse. You live by his Bible. So that's not. I'm not
you
not
don't?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't follow nobody. I follow God myself.
Nice.
I don't follow no man on earth.
Right on, Jeff.
Nobody on earth can tell me how to live.
Nice.
They don't know no more than I do.
I agree. You're the expert of your life.
Okay, now I'm not trying to down you, but my second question is I didn't have this at our television show. When you was commenting on CANDACE.
Yes.
I noticed a little slide at her, but it goes against what y'all say. You said Why can't you say? I can't remember exactly what I said. It was something about her not being home, not working no more, being home with her kids.
Yeah.
Isn't that what y'all say women should do? Be at home with the kids, not be working?
Yeah.
I mean, so how
Wait, what did I get wrong? What did I misunderstand here? That's what I said about Candace. She should be at home with her kids.
But the way, okay, maybe perception. Okay, it's perception. But the perception of the way you said, your recollection showed the perception of the way you said it was like the slight at her. And I don't take no. I mean, that's just. I don't take no. I'm not Candace on that. It's no slight on her. If I'm not going to go on anybody, it's Ben Shapiro, because I always worry about.
Hey, we could go at him too. Hey, we got guns for everybody. What do you want? Hey, who's next?
And it's out of Daily Wire crap that went on. I take Candace's side because Ben Shapiro's worried about us funding Israel and all this crap. And I tweeted Ben Shapiro. I said, why don't you go live in Israel? He didn't respond. I said, because you can't make all the millions and millions and millions of dollars you do live in Israel talking the same crap you do here.
Wait, Ben Shapiro's talking the same crap?
No, I mean,
I'm a little lost. I'm a little lost. What's Shapiro got to do with the Candace and the porn thing?
Not the porn thing. The reason she got kicked off the Daily Wire because she said the U.S. shouldn't stand behind Israel and fund Israel.
Okay.
And Ben Shapiro is out here preaching over that. We should go to war for Israel and all this, we should go protect the Jew land and all this crap.
Okay.
And that's what I'm saying. He says that here. So I asked him, why does he move to Israel? Because he can't make the money there. He does here, preaching that same stuff.
Okay.
So he's not about a hypocrite. He wants to live in the
like
U.S.
a hypocrite. Why? Wait, a hypocrite how? He's always been pro-Israel.
But I mean, well, maybe not a hypocrite. He wants to live in the U.S., make all the money, live in the U.S., preaching that we should go to war and fund Israel. We should be funding Israel. We should pull all our weapons out everywhere else in the world and come home and protect our borders.
Heck yeah!
If you take all the military bases, we got over 1,000 military bases around the world. You pull all the weapons back, and you find the East Coast, the West Coast, the southern border, and northern border, and nobody screws with us.
I hear you, Jeff. I would like people in Congress to challenge this war stuff too. Don't judge Shapiro too hard. He's always been pro-Israel. What else here, Jeff? What else did you? Is there something else you wanted me to respond to real quick? We got to move on here.
No, man, that was it, man. I'll let you go.
Thank you, sir. Call me again.
Okay, man. Have a good one. Oh.
We're gonna rock this fast. Sorry, guys, for you. Thank you so much for waiting so long, but we're gonna do this fast. There's no host after me. But we're going to do this fast. Sorry to make your time short, but we're doing it. Pete, Alaska, go.
When a black gentleman says they're going to pull up, I'm not sure what that means. I'm thinking it's their britches, but...
Yeah, it's either pull up their britches. See, I understood it as pull up and what? Pull up like friends. Neighborly pull up with treats.
Good.
With treats and gifts.
Good. And then post or PTSD and shell shock. Most of those folks were that way before they identified with it. The trouble is that they started to identify with it. I would suggest people, when you make a plan and you write it down on paper, it looks good on paper, but then you apply it and it doesn't quite work out. I'd suggest people write down who they think they are, write down to their numbers and name and birth date and such, and everything good and bad. And everything good and bad that they want to be in the future, and then walk away from it and then come back and read that thing and take a good look at themselves on paper. And maybe they'll get a good laugh at themselves because they're none of those things.
That is interesting, Pete. That is interesting. You know why that's so interesting? Because I feel like I get that all the time when I read old notes that I wrote or old texts that I sent. Yeah. I'm like, who the heck is that guy?
Yep.
That's amazing.
Beta.
And at that time, when I wrote those things, I thought that was me, and I thought that was me the way I thought the things I believed.
Yeah, no, not at all. Yeah, we're fools. But on that Candace Owens thing, and I thought the definition to schmorn was anything without artistic value but causes sexual thought. So that's like
I never heard that.
Every advertisement that you'll see for anything on TV. So they're going to ban it. They're going to ban it all. We're probably talking that smack right now.
Yeah.
This is some form of
this is schmornographic.
Yeah,
some
right.
part of some part of my show today was probably schmornographic.
Yeah, I got a little tingly. No. Have a great day, man.
Thank you, Pete. Call me again.
All right.
Hi, man. You got 1 minute, Minnesota, sir. Appreciate your call.
Hey, that guy that just called, he's right. Those people who got that PTSD, whatever, they're already like that.
Yeah, that was a good point.
I was in AA, and I noticed people that were like that. They like to marinate in their past, and marinate in the trauma, and just relive it and tell the story over and over and over again, you know? And those were the people that went back to drink, you know what I'm saying? And they didn't work whatever program or whatever. They didn't get past the trauma. They loved it too much, you know?
Fascinating, man. Fascinating.
That PTSD stuff don't exist. It's fake.
Fascinating, man.
The men crying.
Please.
That's no good, man. That it feels weird and it looks weird and it looks bad.
Yeah.
But I was going to say more about that, but maybe I'll call tomorrow.
Call me tomorrow, Jaime. I'll take you earlier. Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
That's the show, folks. And it's like, go ahead, cry. Go ahead, cry. Like, it's not about condemning or judging you for doing that. But the world is telling us that that's good and that we're getting better. We're getting stronger when we do that. That we're learning something when we do that. No. Just because you got punched in the face doesn't mean you got stronger. Sometimes when you get punched in the face, you're just scared of the next punch and you just get fear. Doesn't always make you stronger. All right, folks. Appreciate the show and the call. Let me check the super chats here before we go. Let's get to all of them. We're already over time. Good thing there's no host after me. Let me just do this real quick. I got Carver. Thank you for the super chat. Says, Nick's stream landings would give anyone PTSD. That slander. My legal team will be calling you. Thank you, Carver, for your super chat. Kale Samogi says, Zelensky, this is for your Nazi dictatorship state. Hey, appreciate it. You're liking the Zelensky? Chris with the little coffee emoji. Joel Friday TV. Oh, that was from yesterday. Thank you so much. All right, folks. That's the show. What else? That's the coffees. Hey, D-Live. Thank you. All right, folks. That is truly it from me. See you tomorrow, Thursday. We got Bible Thumper Thursday. You don't want to miss it. That's the best. The Hake Report and Joel Friday TV. Take care. See you tomorrow. Appreciate it.